Welcome to the first piano lesson for 2025. Welcome to Piano Lessons with Emmy John. Wow. Officially, we made it into 2025, and I want to say big congratulations to us and to everyone following us. Trust me, big thanks to you all. Thank you for those who have been consistently following these lessons. And by God's grace, we are starting a new series this season. Now, I'm going to be looking at from the basics down to up. This is a year 2025, and I want to ensure all my followers have all they need to be able to grow as a good pianist. So therefore, follow me every week, Monday and Friday, for interesting piano lessons and vocal exercises and vocal songs and some of other covers I might be doing on Wednesdays. But Monday and Fridays, I'll be dropping piano lessons. I'm going to take my time to go from the very basics, starting from exercises you need to know, skills you need to know, everything you need to know from the very basics down to the advanced stuff. Last year, we looked at how to practice, what are things you need to know as a pianist, and so other stuff. This year, we're going to take our time very slowly to build them up. Please don't forget to join up our 6 months piano lessons that covered all of this and more. Very important. This year, we're going to look at more interesting stuff, and I want us now to move step by step. Bear in mind, I cover 3 things in my lessons. Number 1, loop bundle. Don't forget to purchase your loop bundle from me. Big thanks to those who have been purchasing loop bundle. A lot of guys have been purchasing them. Don't forget to get your loop bundle, and there are 2 packs for the loop bundle. Each pack contains at least 52 different loops. Don't forget to purchase your loop bundle from me. That's 1. Number 2, join up my 6 months piano lessons. My 6 months piano lesson is divided into 2, 3 months for beginners and 6 months for intermediate. Sorry. In the beginners lesson, everything you need to know as a beginner, starting from exercises, even finger things you can do, everything is all broken down in the beginner's guide. In the intermediate, we look at complex voices like dominant chords, tritone voices, even down to upper structures. I took my time to look at all those stuff, all entailed in my 6 months piano lesson. So reach out to me on the number on the screen and let's get you registered this year. Trust me, if there's anything we need to invest in this year, it's knowledge. Knowledge is the most important thing to invest in. And for me, I'm taking my time to ensure that I learn more. And as I'm learning more, I'll be dispersing them out to you, but more in my 6 months piano training. Thank you so much, and God bless you. So without wasting some more time, today we're going to look at major chords. So what is that basic thing every pianist must know? Your major chords. One of the reasons why we are struggling is because we're having issue understanding our formation of our chords and how these major chords actually work. I'm going to take my time to break down all these things for us step by step. Remember, these lessons will not be long. The major thing you need to do is to join the 6 months piano lesson. So now, on the key of C as a case study, I'm going to take my time to touch all other keys. Now, on the key of C, we have our 1 chord as C. Bear in mind, no matter the key you are playing on, you should understand the rudiment of the keys. In the key of C, our 1 is always a major. I had someone who asked me a question about that during the Christmas period, and I said I will get back to that in the new year, and I'm starting with that lesson. So, our 1 chord is always a major chord. I'll try my best to be very slow as possible. Bear in mind, the 1 chord is always a major. The 2 chord is always a minor. The 3 chord is always a minor. The 4 chord is always a major. The 5 chord is always a dominant or a major chord. The 6 chord is always a minor. The 7 chord is always a diminished. And we have back to the 1 chord. Let me repeat again. When trying to form your keys or your passing chords or your movement, bear in mind, in the key you are playing on, no matter the key you are on, I'm taking C as a case study. Your 1 chord is always a major. Your 2 chord is always a minor. Your 3 chord is always a minor. Your 4 chord is always a major. Your 5 chord is always a dominant, but in triad form, it's always a major. Your 6 chord is always a minor. Your 7 chord is always a diminished. Then back to the 1 major. I'm going to break them down as we move step by step. That's level 1. Level 2, we have 3 major chords in the diatonic chords. So in every diatonic key, we have 3 major chords, which is the 1, the 4, and the 5. Bear in mind, the 1, the 4, and the 5 are always major chords. At the same time, we have 3 minor chords, which is the 2, the 3, and the 6. Again, the 2, the 3, and the 6 are always minor chords. We have 1 diminished chord, which is the 7. The 7 is always a diminished chord in triad form. But now in 7th chord, when playing them in 7th, I'll look at 7th from next week. When playing them in 7th, we have our 5 as our dominant. But in triad form, in simple triad form, we have it as 1. The word triad simply means 3-note chord. Chord stack in 3. A 3-note chord is called a triad, 3. We have dyad, 2-note chord, and the likes of others. So we are looking at triad now. When playing in triad, we have our 1 chord, our 2 chord, our 3 chord, our 4 chord, our 5 chord, our 6 chord, our 7 chord, and back to our 1 chord. Let me give you one trick again you need to understand. That takes us to level 3. Now, when I'm analyzing notes or when I want to create a movement, I create those movements based on the note of that key. Sorry. Let me explain again. Example, I'm playing in the key of C. I want to play a movement going to my 4. I'm not going to see my 4 as the key of C. I'm going to see my 4 as the key of F itself. This is one way to think as a pianist. So I see my 4 as a key on its own. So when I'm going to 4, I'm thinking F. Let me play a very simple song. This morning I woke up with this song. Very simple. So I'm playing this Nathan Ebasi song, You Are God All By Yourself. I made it very simple again. Explain all the stuff I'm doing as we keep going. So what is the point I was looking at? So when I'm playing You Are God from beginning to the end, I'm going to my 4. So I'm seeing my 4 as a 1 chord. Let's explain it again. So I did a movement that it took me from my 1 to my 4. At the same time now, if I'm thinking F, there are certain movements I can do. What am I doing in this case? Again, I did this. So in that case, what am I doing? I'm doing a movement inside the key of F. The movement I'm doing now in the key of F should just be a regular 5-1, 4-5-1 movement. So this is like a movement to resolve to my 1 on the key of F. But then remember, I'm playing on the key of C. I just took that as a movement inside the key of F. So let me play it again slowly. That's all. So that's all I did. So on the left hand, I'm doing this. So 4, 5, 6. 7, 1, 7, back to the 1. So it's like playing. So if you hear the way it's sounding, I'm coming back to the key of F. So you see, so I just entered into the key of F and I did that movement in the key of F and it lapped with the song. So I'm going to give us the breakdown of what I did. So I did this movement in reharmonization in Cs. So this is what we call reharmonization in Cs, and we're going to treat that later. But in my Cs most training, I have all those covered. So what am I just doing? I'm moving in Cs, in Cs, in Cs. Cs simply means one chord and the Cs. Let me use the key of C. One of my Cs is this. So moving in Cs. So I do that as an exercise. So see what I did now? These are reharmonization in Cs. That's what I did here. So I just did this slow movement. That's all. Again. So that's all I did. So let me apply it to the song again. On the key of C. That's basically that. Take your time, slow the video over again, and you understand what I did. So I don't know if you understood the point where I was going to in this tutorial. If you check well, you discover I'm talking about when making movements, see those individual notes as a note in itself. Don't see them as a note inside the original key you're on. This is how to think out of the box. You are playing the movement going to your 2. Think of 2 as a 1 chord, D minor. So what are those movements I can do inside D minor? Those are the stuffs you can do. So these are stuffs you can do and more. Don't forget, in my 6 months piano training has all this all embedded. This is 2025. Don't slow down. This is 2025. Don't procrastinate. Join up the lessons and let's take your piano playing to the next level. So just in the final recap, don't forget the 1, the 4, the 5 are major chords. Approach them as major chords. Approach them as major chords. Your 2, your 3, your 6 are minor chords. Therefore, approach them as minor chords. Somebody might ask, I'm playing a song going to the 2. What do I do? Approach them as the key of D minor. What are those movements you can do inside the key of D minor? Minor 2, 5, 1 voicings can go. That's that. So that's basically how it works. So then our 7 is always a diminished. Remember, the 7 note on the key of C is always a diminished chord. Remember? Now, somebody might ask, why is this a diminished chord? This is the key of B, as we said at the beginning. So B, major triad is this. This is B major. Do, B, so. B minor triad will be do, mo, so. The D flat was resolved to D, making it a minor. So when we resolved from F sharp to F, we have the B diminished voicing. Very important. So this is how to create these chords. So don't forget again, bear in mind your major triad, minor triad, minor triad, major triad, major triad again, minor triad, diminished triad, back to the 1. If you want to be able to learn all keys, be able to do this on all keys. Let's try it on the key of C sharp, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, the 1 chord again. On the key of D, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, back to the 1. Key of D flat, same way. These are exercises I did that helped me master my keys. On the key of E flat, 1, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, the 8 chord, or back to the 1 chord. Same thing goes to the key of E and all other keys. The 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord. I'm playing them in triads. The 6 chord, the 7 chord, the 8 chord. There is no way you will do this on all keys and you will not be familiar with all keys. That's that. On the key of F, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, back to the 1 chord. Same thing on the key of F sharp, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, then back to the 1 chord. Same thing goes to the key of G, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, back to the 1 chord. On the key of G sharp, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, and back to the 1 chord. On the key of A, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, and back to the 1 chord. On the key of B flat, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7th chord, and finally back to the 1 chord of B flat. Then let's move down to the final key, key of B. 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, and back to the final 1 chord. Then we resolve back to the key of C as original one. Very important. If I can do this, you too can do this. These are things you ought to do in 2025 to make your play and your piano knowledge in-depthly rooted in 2025. So let's go. The 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, the 7 chord, and back to the 1 chord. So that's basically what you need to know. So I'm going to take a break here. And don't forget to join 6 months piano lesson or purchase your loop bundle for me. And those who are interested in praise piano comping exercises, I have that in the tutorial all done. Send a DM to me on the number on the screen, and then let's take your playing to the next level. See you on Friday. Emmy John.